Okay, so I want to make some bread today. So the first thing I'm going to do is, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to feed my sourdough. There's a little bit of water in the top of my sourdough, so I'm going to dump that out really quick. Just the top layer. Okay. Now we're going to do a 1/4 cup flour and a 1/4 cup water. I usually take a fork and stir it, so that way at the end you don't get a lot of residue. Good. Just pop the lid back on, and then you're gonna move your rubber band to the line that it just filled to. Probably in about an hour to 2 hours, that's gonna rise and we'll be ready to make bread. Okay, it's about 9:45, so we're gonna test our sourdough. As you can see, it's kind of risen above the rubber band. So a couple of lukewarm water here. Take the lid off, it looks nice and bubbly, so that's a good sign. Just take a spoonful of it, just a little bit, and put it in the water. So it's floating, so that means we're ready to make some bread. So you can have all your supplies out. I have my scale, sifter, starter, a nice bowl, and all my flour and water. So you're gonna want your scale to be on grams. I'm just gonna put the bowl on there, and then I'm gonna tare it. There's lots of recipes out there with different measuring, but my recipe is 227 grams of starter. So we're going to pour until so I went over it to 231. So I'm just gonna spin it out till I get to 227. Okay, so we're at 227. I'm gonna tare it. My scale's a little weird. There we go. And now I'm going to add my flour, and I'm going to sift it while I'm adding it. Flour. So I'll just go through, take some, put it in my sifter, and sift it into the bowl until I have 650 grams. It's usually about 5 or so cups of flour. Okay, we tared the scale, and now we're gonna do 397 grams of water. It's about 2 cups. Okay, so we tared our scale again. Now we're gonna do 18 grams of salt. For this next part, you're going to want to take off all your rings, and we're going to mix the sourdough together with our hands. It's really messy, feels very weird, but you just kind of want to incorporate your sourdough and just mixing together. And try and get all of it off the sides. It's gonna get all over your hands and it's gonna be really sticky, but that's okay. And then I try and just get as much as I can off of my hands. Okay, so I just washed my hands, and this is what it's gonna look like after you incorporate it. So now I'm just going to give it a little like spin kind of move. Just going to cover it with a wet towel, just like that. And I'm going to set a timer for 30 minutes. Okay, while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to feed my starter again. Flour and a 1/4 cup of it a good stir. Lid on and move through rubber band. Okay, 30 minutes has passed, so we're gonna do our first set of stretch and folds. So I find it easiest, you have a little bit of damp hands. So you're gonna start, you're gonna grab one of the sides, you're gonna stretch it and fold it over. And you're gonna turn the bowl clockwise, and you're gonna do that 4 times. Fold, and then you're going to do that same little twisty motion just to kind of form it into a ball. And then you're gonna put the towel back over the top and set a timer for 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, so we're gonna take this off. Again, I have damp hands, and we're gonna do the same stretch and fold that we did before. So I'm just gonna grab some, stretch it, fold it over. Okay, 30 minutes has gone by. I'm gonna do another set of stretch and folds. So we're gonna stretch them, fold it over. Okay, 30 minutes went by, and it's time for our last set of stretch and folds. So this was the one that you're gonna incorporate to. So I'm doing rosemary garlic. I'm gonna do a stretch. I'm gonna put some garlic, rosemary in here, and I'm gonna fold it and kind of squish it. Now I'm going to set it on the counter, cover it with this towel again, and I'm going to let it sit here for about 2 hours. Okay, so it's been 2 hours with my bread. So my hands are damp. I'm just going to just try and peel it from the bowl and put it on the counter. Just like that. And then I'm gonna kind of shape it into a ball. And there's flour on the counter too, by the way. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of shape it into a ball. And then this thing comes with the kit. And I usually split this into 2 loaves. You can leave it as 1 or shape it into 2. I like 2 because the 1 loaf is really big. So I'm just gonna cut it in half, and now we have 2, and the flour on the counter, I'm just gonna do a little shaping here. And now you're gonna do the same thing with this other one. You're gonna leave them on the counter for about 20 minutes, and then you're gonna do 1 more round of shaping. So while these are sitting here, I'm going to show you these. These are from Amazon. So in order to get that nice floury top of the bread, you're gonna kind of season this with flour. I'm just gonna shake it. Okay, it's been 20 minutes, so I'm going to just kind of pick up some of this extra flour, shape. Hang on, Dustin. Shape. Put this pretty little ball into my basket, just like that. And then I'm gonna cover it with the cover that comes with the basket. I'm gonna do the same thing with this other one. Oof. go. And put it in the basket. Put the cover on. And now we're gonna let these sit in the fridge overnight. Okay, when you're ready to bake the bread, the next day, it's the morning time, so you're gonna pull the bread out and you're gonna preheat the oven to 450 with your baking dish in it. So if you're doing 2 loaves, I put my Dutch oven and the ceramic baking dish in the oven while it's preheating. And then I set a timer for an hour, and these are gonna sit on the counter for an hour, and the pots are gonna stay in the oven for an hour to heat up. I forgot to record this part, so there's no actual bread here, but when an hour has passed, you're gonna take the lid off and just pretend like there's a loaf in here. So it's gonna be sitting in here, and then there's gonna be a piece of parchment on the counter. So you're just going to flip it over onto the parchment, and you might need to kind of peel it off of the bottom, sometimes I do. But you're gonna flip it over onto the parchment, and then once it's on there, again, pretend there's a loaf here. We'll just pretend this is our loaf. I usually kind of spread the flour, try and spread it all over the bread. And then I'm gonna score it, scoring so the little designs in the bread. And now my bread's in the pot on the parchment, throw the lid on, and I'm gonna put it in the oven. Same goes for this one. Now I put it in the oven. Okay, now that they're both in the oven with the lids on, I'm gonna set a timer for 20 minutes. 20 minutes went by, so I took the lids off and set a new timer for 25 minutes. Okay, I just took them out of the oven, took them out of their pans pretty quickly, put them on the drying rack, and we have bread. 2 beautiful loaves. So this is why you put flour, you season those baskets, because it makes it really pretty with the flour.